Stop the madness. Keep it 100. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts Sean L., Letty Love, and funny man Doug Million. Join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. Stop the madness. Keep it 100. With live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Stop the madness. Keep it 100. STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. The best talk show on the web is here. STMK Radio 100. Also call us at 1-866-484-STMK to stop the madness. Keep it 100.
You're listening to STMK Radio 100. You're listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your hosts, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100. 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a Kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
New Pew Research Center study of 10,000 American adults finds us more divided than ever.
Never in my public life, half a century now, have I seen the nation quite as divided.
The great divide in American politics shows no sign of closing or even quieting down.
In the words of my fellow American Malcolm X, I'm gonna make it plain.
9 and I'm 14 and I'm crying. Not really sure where I am, but I'm holding the hand of my best friend Sam in the waiting room of a Planned Parenthood. Exists within. We must take responsibility, not just for our actions, but for ourselves. We must make it our responsibility to feed our own healthy ego, to teach our children to exercise their own autonomy and ego strength by leading by example. I have recently introduced a new phrase in my life that I would like to share with you. No more pandering. No more feeling guilty about hurting people's feelings when something doesn't feel right for me. I have made a promise to myself to be responsible for myself.
You do see many of the accusers of Bill Cosby in Seeing All Red. There was a criminal trial. That criminal trial ended in a deadlock. As to President Trump, I did file a lawsuit 3 days before his inauguration, sexually inappropriate conduct, as did many other women. Civil lawsuit against Mr. Cosby alleging child sexual abuse, who spoke out against him, made allegations of sexually inappropriate conduct, and she spoke out during the campaign for president, as did many other women. Mr. Trump then called all of them who had spoken out publicly liars, said what they said was fiction, fabrication, threatened to sue them. After the election, he didn't sue them because truth matters. Right. Women matter. I filed a lawsuit on behalf of one of the brave women who spoke out.
In the words of my fellow American Malcolm X, I'm gonna make it plain. In 1877, America, the greatest country on this planet, put laws in place called the Jim Crow laws. And the Jim Crow laws restricted the rights to quadroons, octoroons, blacks, Hispanics, Indians, Malays, restricted medical, restricted relationships, restricted education, restricted life. It told us that we were less than, and it came on the heels of the 13th Amendment. It came on the heels
not here to curse the darkness. We are here to light a candle. My call is to the young in heart, regardless of age, to the stout in spirit, regardless of party. To all who respond to the scriptural call, be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be dismayed. For courage, not complacency, is our need today.
Hey, good evening. Me Too, words that has spread like a wildfire around the United States. October 2017 as a two-word hashtag used on social media to help demonstrate the widespread of sexual assault and harassment, especially in the workplace. If you follow, soon after the public revelation of sexual misconduct, allegations against Harvey Weinstein, Donald Trump, and Bill, the phrase, long used by social activist Tamir Burks to help survivors realize that they are not alone. It was made the war cry by actress Alyssa Milano when she encouraged women to tweet it to give people the sense of the magnitude of the problem. Since then, women all over the world has been using that phrase and posting it online and millions of times and tweeting often with the accompanied personal stories of sexual harassment or assaults. The response on Twitter, Facebook included high profile posts from several celebrities and many stories of sexual violence were shared. Less than a month into this historical movement, over 175 high profile and powerful men has went down to this movement. And just some of the names. Jay-Z got uh, accused. Donald Trump. And Sex Man. You know anybody else? You know you the law man there.
No names of people I know personally.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the expectation began to creep into the atmosphere of the White House. And as we see the full extent of the fallout, such as Senator Al Franklin and many, many more. But tonight, we're going to turn the coins and see what the men are thinking. We have an all-star panel together. We're going to go into the chat room with D Knows and our live chat to see what's going on and what they're talking about. We're on Facebook Live. We're going to talk to everybody on Facebook to see how they feel about the Me Too unit. Facebook, YouTube, welcome. And I want you to type it right now if you're watching us on Facebook Live. Tell me what the Me Too movement means to you. I want to hear from the women out there, and we're going to put your comments on the air. In Studio 51 with me today, I have a guest coming out of the Red Room, Robert Overton. He's going to talk with us on the second hour about the values of being a homeowner and owning homes in the community and bringing the community back and making it valuable for everybody to have what is needed for our survival. Robert, we're going to thank you for being with us also tonight.
Thank you, Sean, for keeping me on.
All right, that's really good. Thing we got to be here with you. Hey, Gerald Hall, Facebook Live, man. Our condolences and everybody thinking about you, man. And we're gonna get together. Tone the Stone, the Diamond Boy, is coming with us shortly, and J Mac from the shop. Now, Sax, man, I just want to start right here since we're going to start on the thing. Okay. And this is the question of the day. The Me Too movement. Is it destroying the trust between men and women?
Well, yeah, of course it is.
What you think about that? We're going to go around the table first.
What my opinion on it is this has been going on for as long as I can think of. Now women are just tired of it because it's affecting not just the window washers, or I mean not window washers, the floor moppers, to the hotel cleaners, to now it's all the way in Hollywood.
Well, let me ask you this question though. I have an opinion about the Me Too movement, and I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to restrict a lot of people. Mm-hmm. A lot of things are happening in the movement that I think we need to have that conversation about the Me Too movement, because a lot of if you two consensual adults, and I'm gonna say this, and y'all in a consensual relationship, okay, and me and you work together, I don't consider that sexual harassment if you going to indulge in that conduct. Okay.
As boyfriend and girlfriend, you mean?
As boyfriend and girlfriend, or lovers. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, if I'm your boss and I'm forcing you into that type of conduct, I can say yes, that's sexual harassment.
Exactly.
Or in the workplace.
Or a coworker that we just work together, and you might be sitting in the desk across from me. I find you attractive, and I say, "Wow, you look very lovely today." Some women take that offensive, even though you're giving her a compliment.
But is it? Some of the women in the chat room talked about that earlier. But is it the same if you give them a compliment, or if you're hitting on them, or if you're talking inappropriate to them?
Well, okay. Sean, we had this discussion at work not too long ago, and I was the only one that felt this way. Me, because we old school, Sean. We used to say back in the day, "Wow, you look very lovely today," and nothing was sought. Nothing was wrong. But today, when you say it to women, they take more offense to, or because they assume you're trying to move towards another agenda by saying, "Hey, you look lovely."
Let me say this, because this is where I have a problem with it. But the people that is going down now, and Robert, you could join in if you want to, is that you look at Harvey Weinstein, you look at Donald Trump, you look at all the powerful men that have been accused of sexual harassment.
I mean, I don't think Donald Trump can be accused. He actually said he grabbed him by the pussy.
Okay, but there again, you have to understand this. If some women come into Hollywood knowing what they're going to get into,
right?
Okay, so if you want to be in my movie, classic example, if you want to be in my movie, and why are we having a meeting in my hotel room?
Exactly.
Okay. So you have to understand this, and if you get into that situation, and this is where I have no problem with it, this is because when they did Bill, and they came after Bill, and they allowed people to come back from 40 to 50 years
later,
they opened up the door, okay, and that door opened up, and what they didn't understand is the floodgates that came behind opening that door, because if you look at it, the judge, Ray Moore, he got hit with the same thing.
Al Franken. Remember Al Franken?
Al Franken is the case that I want to bring up right now, and I want to talk to you about that, okay? And in the chat room, Al Franken was on a comedy tour, okay? He made an inappropriate suggestion with a picture taken with his hands like he was grabbing a lady's breast. And she said he forced her to kiss. But I watched that film, the whole U.S. tour film, and she was on stage grabbing the guys by the butt. She was putting her hands down in their crouches. Okay. So did she put that position there that they thought it was funny and okay?
That's right.
Okay.
She did.
And Al Franken didn't put a force on her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, it's different when you come in here and I'm telling you that if you want this job, this is what you got to do.
Right.
Or you come in and you're a female and I'm hitting on you. Okay.
What they was doing was playful, and they've been doing it the whole tour.
Right, and this is what I'm talking about, separation. Okay. Bill was caused. I'm not gonna call his last name. Everybody know who Bill was, the great Hustable dad. He was accused of
pudding pups.
right. He was accused of drugging females. Okay, and actually raping them. Now that's a crime.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, but my thing is that the state refused to prosecute him. Okay, now how can he have a fair trial? How can anybody get into a fair trial if you're gonna come back 40 years later accusing a person of a crime when he doesn't have the right or the chance to
statute of limitations, Sean.
Well, they waited to the last day, the last hour before they charged Bill. Okay, so statute of limitations really don't matter, and plus they couldn't win the initial trial. Okay, so since they couldn't win the initial trial, the prosecution now want to bring 19 more accusers in. Okay, how can he defend himself?
Right.
Is that right?
Because there's no way to prove those other 19 accusers actually had any contact or any relations with them.
And then you go with the Republican senators that are resigning. Now, the biggest case that I say where the Me Too movement is exactly explain what that movement is the GOP congressman, the GOP congressman, who told his aide that his soulmate, he called her his soulmate, that she ended up giving her about $200,000, but he called her his soulmate. Now that's sexual harassment, where he's attempting to force himself or force a relationship
right.
that is not there. Now I can see the Me Too movement, and I understand that there's a lot the floodgates that open up on that. And Robert, you're sitting over there all quiet. I see it's your thing, man. Move up to that mic, man, and tell me what you think of the Me Too movement.
Well,
come up to the mic a little bit, man. There you go.
Well, I always look at it like this. You know, I was always taught to treat people the way you want to be treated. I don't care how they look, how they dress, or what they do. You know, so you're in a professional place, you be professional because professionalism gonna set you apart. You know, like with any movement, it's gonna be people that get sunk with the ship, and there's gonna be people that supposed to get sunk. So I always just try to handle myself in a professional manner.
And I agree with that. And for the ladies in the chat rooms and everything, we're doing this tonight about the Me Too movement, and we're giving you the whole first hour, and we're talking about it. We're waiting for the rest of our all-star panel to run in. I agree that the movement has taken over, and something that everybody has to understand, those women that filled the streets last week in Washington, in every city from Cleveland, Ohio, San Francisco, all the way down, they're going to be the people who turn our government around.
Do you feel the what's her name, the heavyset girl that was going to do the Netflix thing, and
Monique.
Do you think that got something to do with the Me Too movement?
No, Monique has nothing to do with the Me Too movement. Monique's whole situation is, and I'm going to say this right here. I heard two different situations like this, but my problem is this, okay? Monique is talking about a money thing, okay?
Okay.
Oprah, Tyler Perry, and all them, they got money, okay? Somebody offered me $500,000 to do a show. I'm taking the $500,000.
Especially if you haven't worked in a while.
Okay. Number two, Netflix said they offered her $3 million, okay? I seen the show and the video where her and her husband was on there and talking. I think two things happen like this. In business, you get paid what the person think that you worth to them. We just talked about that, sex man. Okay,
right.
If you worth $4 million and you got your thing together, you can demand $4 million. Okay, if they don't think you worth $4 million and they offer you for $500,000, and you think you worth $4 million, then don't do business with them.
Right.
Okay, go to Hulu. Okay, don't try to hold them hostage because your business deal didn't go the way you want to.
And blaming others too as well.
Well, I'm not gonna say she blaming others, and I love.
Well, she did.
I love Monique. Let me say this: I love Monique, but I'm not gonna say she blaming others.
She called out Oprah and she called out the other dude,
Tyler Perry.
You know,
but my thing is, they offered her $500,000. Netflix. Now, if somebody tells me, because we doing the show and we in 22 cities, that they gonna give me $500,000. okay, if I think that's what I'm worth, I'm gonna take the $500,000. Just like the guy offered you $250,000 to do your own show,
Right.
John Shock out of Houston. Okay, if that's what you want to do, you sign the contract.
True.
If you feel that you worth $4 million, you have to tell them I want $4 million.
I want $4 million.
Right. and if they don't give you the $4 million, move on.
I want well then if I don't get the $4 million, give me the $250,000.
See, because you have to look at this, Sax man.
Right.
We're talking about the Me Too movement,
right.
And women who feel that they've been sexually harassed, been taken advantage of, have went to Hollywood, been sexually assaulted. Look, Bill been drugged and raped. I mean, there's a whole list of 175. One is a prominent black producer, okay? And nobody would ever thought that he would do something like that. He's caught up. You got actors caught up. If that was the case, I'll tell you right now, half the people in the city government may be on their way out.
Oh my God, yes it is.
And they catching big money. We talking. I just looked at one thing from Congress alone, the secret deals that our government has been paying young staffers. I'm talking about 22, 18-year-old staffers getting $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. One got $4 million. And look at the lady from Fox News, Greta. What's her name? Greta.
Greta. Right.
The last name. Now that was Donald Trump's station, Fox News, the bubble.
Right.
Okay. Hannity and
Hannity,
my boy, he got caught up.
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. And then they end up paying her $20 million. Okay, that's a lot of money.
That is.
For somebody to tell you got nice legs and a tight dress.
That's what I was saying earlier, as far as you saying to a person regularly, you look very nice in the outfit today. That's very nice. You look very nice. Oh, my God, I'm going to sue you. But back 20, 30 years ago, you was able to say that, and there was no problem because there was nothing behind the meeting other than you look good.
And then you look
that was
at
it.
Right.
Can
and
somebody give me a compliment then so I can see somebody for
right,
$20 million?
And that's another thing we want to say. That's why we want to hear the man's point of view that we're talking about is that if the same thing was said to me and I filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against the city or whatever, will the jury give me that type of money?
Sean, they'll throw you out the courtroom.
I mean, look at it. And that's the problem we know of now.
Right.
We're experiencing so much distrust that even the number, looking at somebody right now when you walk into the job, it's scaring everybody. And then when you look at our national scene, what's happening in the government, then you come down from the government to what's going on in Hollywood alone. And this is not a issue of liberals versus conservatives, because we got conservative councilmen from the churches that are being caught up with young males, okay? They're supposed to be against homosexuality.
They should.
Okay? Well, they're supposed to be against it. That's what they talk about against, okay? The church talking about a mulligan, okay? But the bottom line is, how you going to preach to me every Sunday and tell me about homosexuality and about what's right and wrong, and you going out there at 4 o'clock Sunday evening doing the same thing?
Behind closed
okay?
doors, thinking they're gonna get caught.
And we have to look at that, okay? And it goes all the way down. And it goes the same thing with if you want to call them liberals, lefties, or whatever you want to call them, in Hollywood, okay? But this in Hollywood goes back, oh, man, way before.
Okay. Well, let's say this about Bill Clinton. Remember the Monica Lewinsky situation? You know, that was something that falls under this same capacity, but she didn't have an issue with it because I bet you $5 Bill was paying her.
Well, not only that.
Oh yeah,
but I want to say this right here. I'm going to give Bill Clinton. He was a predator, but the problem with Bill Clinton going all the way back to when he was a governor, these women was in a consensual relationship. Monica Lewinsky did what she did to Bill Clinton on her own free will. Okay. He didn't coerce her. He didn't force her into that. Okay. He didn't put the cigars and all them there, and she didn't let him. And this is the problem that I have with the whole thing right here with Bill Clinton. What woman is going to keep a dress with sperm on it and not wash it or clean it? Okay. So you have to look at some of the things and see what's going on, because she didn't complain. Her girlfriend complained.
Yeah, she wanted some.
Okay. But the question is, as I said earlier, if a woman is in a consensual relationship with me and we work together, or with her boss and they work together, or with somebody that's in authority or have command over, and she's willingly having this affair, is that sexual harassment?
No.
That's what I'm asking you, Facebook. That's what I'm asking the city. The phone lines we're going to open up. You can call in.
Please call and find out about
all the
this.
way Savannah in the house, YouTube. The question of the day is, if we're in a consensual relationship, is that considered sexual harassment if we work together? And that's the question that we're asking everyone. The chat room is fired up, and they're really, really going at it because some of the guys are really going, and we're going to go back to D. Knows.
Can I say?
Go ahead, Rob.
I want to say this: if even if you are in a consensual relationship and your other partner, whether it's the man or the woman, says no, you got to back off.
Okay, but now I can go. I can go along with that. Okay, but if we are in a consensual relationship, okay, and you get mad because I'm gonna go home to my wife or we're gonna break up, okay, then how is it that you're gonna come back to the job and destroy me? Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, how you gonna come back and destroy me and then sue the city, okay, or the firm?
Well, can I say this to you? If I go to somebody's house and their bathroom is next to their, if their toilet is next to their stove, I'm not eating over there. You know the old saying, don't
shit
use
where you eat.
Exactly. It's too many people out in this world for you to go and act like you got to have a relationship at the job. You need to get out then.
Right.
You just need to get out, and you causing problems upon yourself. Hey, you putting your own problems.
And then basically that's what happened. And I know a couple of situations like that, what they're talking about too right now. The problem is with you go into with Donald Trump and his famous film with Billy Bush. Okay. If they're going into these relationships and these women are allowing him to say things and do things so they can get their fame, is that his fault?
It is. Let me say this. What everybody say when you're at the top of the mountain, you got people going for you, and that's one of the flaws that come. That's one of the problems that come with it. Technically, it's not his fault if they're doing something to get paid off of it. But it's just what we call life. So that's what I think.
Yeah. So you look at that, and I understand by definition, and I want everybody to understand this, especially the people in Facebook. I understand by definition the unwanted advances. I understand about the boss and the subordinate, all that. What I'm saying is, if two adults agree to a relationship, okay, and we all know it happens. If something happens, does she have the right to come back to destroy that man, or does that man have the right to come back and destroy that woman because the relationship they agreed to didn't work out?
No,
that's what I'm talking about when we talk about the Me Too movement. Now, the Me Too movement is about unwanted sexual advances or sexual assaults. So I understand that. That's why we need to have this conversation right here, and to the women in the chat room. Nobody's saying that women are does this on purpose. Nobody's saying that women deserves this. We respect our women. We understand that, and we put it out there. But also on the same question, Sax Man, what I'm saying is that our conversation need to be had as to what is sexual harassment, what is unwanted sexual advances, and if you have an open sexual relationship with me, is it wrong when I say it's off to come back on the job?
No, it is not. Okay, start from the beginning. If you and I having a relationship on the job, and it's agreeable, it's consensual, and then we break up, all right, but we still co-workers on the job. There's no more relationship anymore.
You're correct. That's what I'm saying. There you go.
And I'm coming at you like I still want to have sex with you, or I'm making remarks that's uncomfortable to you, that you no longer feeling me. all right, you're not feeling me no more, so you don't want to hear that crap no more, then it's considered sexual harassment.
And you know, in the chat room, I want to say this also.
And that's my opinion.
Right. And in the chat room, I also understand where everybody comes and talk about coerce and they feel pressured. I understand that when somebody feel pressure or coerce or somebody make unwanted advances to you, we understand. I can even go with that. But I'm talking about somebody that has in their mind, we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend on the job.
No matter what.
No matter what. Okay. And we all know how man of power and money, women want to be around man of power and money. Jay Mack is in the house. Just stepped in, getting himself
What's up,
right
Jay?
there. Jay Mack from the shop.
Hey, Jay.
How you feel, sir?
Man, your hands are cold. What's going
Hey.
on?
We was
Tone and Stone and snuck in behind somebody.
Yes, they did. So wait a minute, Sax, man, tell them about what you said.
Either you're part of the solution or goddamn it, you are the fucking problem.
What the hell?
Either you're part of the solution or goddamn it, you are the fucking problem.
Russell Wilkins done he got a sore throat or something.
Hey. that was the
that was the old saying for Russell Wilkins. Oh, finally, we got back at him.
They get back at him.
But
the thing of what I was saying is we have to come back on that, and on the phone line is coming in a minute. We opening up the phone lines. Jay Mack, what you think about that?
Well, what was the last thing you were talking about?
Hold on. We're gonna go to the phone line right now. On the phone line, we got our girl Gigi.
Gigi! Hey!
What's up, Gigi?
What's going on? What's going on?
Long time no hear.
Gigi, I want to ask you the question right here, and I'm glad you're here because I know you're going to keep it 100
Keep it
for
real.
us.
Keep it real, girl.
If me and you on the job together, okay, and we in a consensual, now I'm not talking about me coercing you. I'm not talking about me making you feel that your job going to be taken if you don't do it. I'm not talking about drugging you and taking it from you. I'm talking about you and me agree we're going to have a relationship. You follow me? If that relationship breaks up, is it right for you to come back and destroy my job and sue me for sexual harassment?
No. No, it's not right. It's not. First of all, you guys, I don't think it's a good idea to date on the job.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay. But if you're going to take that chance, you also got to take that chance that if you break up, what's going to happen? If you got to see this person every day at the job.
True that.
So, stuff you got to think about before you make that move. But no, I don't think that's right. That's not right at all.
So tell me, Gigi, as a woman, the Me Too movement, what does it, how do you feel about it, and what does it mean to you?
Well, it means to me that, shoot. I mean, it all depends on how the relationship was and how what it was, but I guess for a normal relationship, it's because it's, I don't know. I wouldn't try to take money out the guy's pocket, unless he done did something that's really messed up or something like that. I wouldn't try to hurt nobody unless they hurted me. But if us breaking up, so, you know what I'm saying? Is it something in life that you deal with? You know what I'm saying? If you couldn't make it, you couldn't make it. It is what it is.
So let me ask you, go back to that question, the Me Too movement. How do you see it?
Me myself, how do I see her messing up, coming and mess up their job?
No, how you see the movement, period,
I think, well, I feel the movement period is messed up for the simple reason is always some shackanackle bullcrackle, between us Black Americans, I should say. So, in saying that, and being a woman and being a man act cray-cray too, just like a woman act cray-cray. So, my opinion, I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. But, if I couldn't handle seeing this person every day at my job, I would quit or find another job or something. Or just deal with it. Because it really shouldn't have happened in the beginning.
And let's go back to the question that somebody asked earlier in the chat room. They asked it right now. And Saxman brought this up. Bill Clinton, how did you see Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky's situation? Hey, I'm asking that. Hey, I'm asking that one because a woman. I want a woman perspective on that one. I really do want a woman perspective on that one.
I knew she was going to find that one.
My perspective on that one right there, because I like Bill Clinton. I feel he was a good president. So, he was just getting some good bless, and she provided it. That's all that was.
Okay, but now I'm gonna ask you the question I said earlier. Why would a woman? Was he set up? Because why would a woman keep a dress with sperm on it and not get her dress clean?
Well, they set up. Well, she set up herself to be to get the little 10 minutes of fame, and I guess she could have liked it, Bill, for real. Who knows?
It's
but
showing.
If she did, yeah, that too.
Right.
Or she can get money and keep money, or keep her job, or whatever the case may be.
Oh, wow, that's really good. I never thought about that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Gigi calling from the land. Hearing the perspective from the woman part. What's been going on with your G thing?
Right.
You still doing that?
Nah, I quit for a minute. But I'm gonna get back on it because there's some stuff coming up. So
we want you to get back on it because we want to. Once you get it all back together, we want to hear about it.
Yeah, you kind of dipped on me too, Gigi. What's up with that? I gotta ask you what's up with that. Why you dip on me?
Saxman, you at work? Okay. Okay, we can't. Hey, your insurance do not cover you. Okay.
Oh my God.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Gigi, hey, we want to thank you for coming in with us, darling, and we appreciate you calling
Gigi.
in.
Love you, Gigi.
Bye. Now, everybody, that was Gigi, and you heard that from a woman perspective. But, Tony Stone, move on up over here and tell Saxman to bring that mic into the middle.
Oh, man, you mean I got to share the mic with
Yeah,
this
you
guy?
got to share it with him, man.
Why he can't share with his friend, J. Mac?
Get Tone in there.
The two of y'all can sit on each other.
So
we don't do that.
Right. Hey, this is question number two that I want to ask the all-star panel. We got our all-star panel here, and D Knows is in the chat room, really going hard with them. Facebook Live is with us and going in and out, so I don't know how long you're gonna be with us. But question number two is this: is the YouTube movement making the men's the bad guys and really make both sexes, breaking down the trust between the sexes and legacy, and making a model that we will no longer can live with, especially in workplaces?
I would say no. Because, like I said, when I go to work and when I go to my profession, I go to do my job. I go to get paid. If you're going in there to think you're gonna go and find a woman, find your soulmate, find a love of your life, well, you're going in there for other alternative motives. So you just handle yourself professionally. Hey, how you doing? I shake your hand. I treat you like a man, because the deal is they got women are strong just as man. I'll be honest, I can never give birth, but I don't want to give birth. That's strong. But I think the Me Too movement is more so the proper etiquette in the workplace.
Right, and that's the part where I was getting at. Is the proper work etiquette of bosses with subordinates, with women being properly treated as co-workers and as with the respect when they come into the office, instead of being treated as sex symbols or stuff like that. And that's where the conversation has to go. And we really need our women. J Mac, pull back from the mic just a little bit. We need our women to put forth that. Okay. And I'm going to come back around to you because we got Tone Stone mic'd up, everybody. The Diamond Boy is finally in Studio 51 with us.
This is my color anyway, Sax. You don't deserve red. I'm going to have to take this microphone anyway for future use.
Why's your color red?
Can I get some sound in these headphones?
Oh, yeah.
And while you're doing that, I just wanted to touch.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to touch on what Rob said a minute ago. You're right, Rob. Like, when you go to work, you're supposed to be professionalism. It's supposed to be strictly business, but things happen. You know, sometimes people meet at work and they fall in love. And I think with this Me Too movement, what's going on now is brothers might be intimidated to even make a move in the workplace on the lady. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, because anything could be misconstrued as sexual harassment or indecent, or so. You know, it's really not to take anything away from women or downplay it. You know, it's a serious issue to me too, like sexual harassment and rape. Like some of the more serious allegations against some of these people, like the Harvey Weinsteins and whatnot.
Right.
And you know, I heard y'all talking about Bill Cosby when I was on my way, and him, you know, with him being suspected of drugging these ladies. Those are more serious allegations
Well,
and accusations.
that's what I said earlier, Tone, that we have to have this conversation and we have to separate the severity of the situation. Me, I want to go to what they were talking about Franklin. Okay, Franklin was in a situation of comedy. He didn't actually touch her, and he wasn't trying to force her in a relationship or done something. He did improper actions. Okay, but I looked at the film and I seen her grabbing the guys' butts on stage and grabbing their crouches and everything. So I'm going to say that his wasn't severe as Harvey Weinstein, who was taking people into hotel rooms and raping them, or Bill, who was drugging them. Okay, we have to treat them different. Okay, look at the classic case of the Me Too movement is the congressman with the young girl who got mad because she had a boyfriend and talking about that they were soulmates. Okay, that's what the Me Too movement, the classic example for the Me Too movement is. And sexual assault. Now, sexual assault is a crime.
Yeah,
okay.
the Me Too movement is more. It's more about. It's not just about sexual harassment at the workplace.
Right.
It's about sexual assault. Women, women like I've been there too.
Right, and they have to go there. Alicia Milano made them that hashtag become very, very good when they talked about that, and that's the thing about it is giving our women courage. But I feel if they make a sexual assault, instead of paying out millions and millions of taxpayers' dollars, we need to criminally prosecute them. Mm-hmm. Okay, Bill Crosby, if he was doing this, should have never been charged 45 years later.
Exactly.
Okay, it should have been.
And that's another thing too. Like so many of these allegations, they come out so many years after the fact. Like especially with the more serious ones like rape. Like I don't understand what's the holdup. Like what took you years to come out with this? Whatever.
Well, I mean, some women are actually scared.
But see, think about it. Bill was paying and taking care of these women. He was putting them in college and their kids in college.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Now the money running
that.
out a little bit because he ain't got his shows no more. He ain't paying out like he's paying out. These women want theirs, and now they can't get theirs. Now they want to come at him.
But you know what? I said that earlier.
Tone laughing, but it's true. Man.
But you know, Tone. I don't have no. But let me say this: I don't have no problem with none of this 175 mans that got is getting the axe right now. And the reason I'm gonna say this, I don't have no problem with it because when Bill was getting done back in 2014, they all stepped to the side and said, "Hang him." Donald Trump, all of them, hang him. Okay, not knowing that they was opening up the floodgates and they was gonna get caught in the flood too. Mm-hmm. Okay, because when they lost the case, when the prosecution wasn't able to get a conviction in the case, now they want to stack the deck. They want 19 accusers to testify. There's no way for him to defend himself, okay? And all of them been already paid, signed agreements, and they only prosecuting him on words that he said out of a deposition, okay? So why? And I know if you're a kid and something happened to you, then by all means, if it takes you 40 years to come out and say it 40 years later. But these were grown women in positions, in situations, and even when they went to authorities, the authorities did not agree with them. And then you look at the doctor that Michigan State lost, they raped all the women. They say 175 victims or 150 victims, okay? They just gave him life. But let's go into the chat room before we go in there. Let's go into the chat room and see what's going on with D-Knows, because D-Knows has a full conversation going in there. And once D-Knows go in there to the chat room, Sax Man, we're going to hear what the women talking about. We're going to hear what they saying about you also, Sax Man. Hey, D-Knows, what's happening there? And is the chat room on fire?
Well, Chanel, they're letting their opinions show. Galvanized by #MeToo and a year of Trump, the Women's March returns to the streets.
The Me Too movement is a focus on solidarity. It shows women who have been survivors of abuse that they are not alone. In doing so, it has also shone a bright light on those who have done the abusing and makes the statement, "We will fight back."
#MeToo means solidarity, power, strength, and sharing one's truth.
Everybody has seen Me Too. Started by actress Alyssa Milano. She tweeted out, "If all women who have been sexually harassed or assaulted wrote Me Too as a status, we might give people a sense of magnitude of the problem." Millions of people have come out posting Me Too. I think it's important to speak out and not by shame by anyone. It is not always easy, but we have to do that. And that's why I posted, and I will say it right now out loud, Me Too.
The Me Too campaign is a campaign that gives women like me a platform and voice to speak their truth about rape and sexual harassment. Many men make lewd comments to women every day without regard to how those comments make females feel. And some men may not even know that they are being inappropriate because society has completely normalized the sexualization of women. This needs to be stopped so campaigns like this don't have to exist. #MeToo.
We asked our men in the chat room their point of view, and this is what they had to say. Real Deal 88. Take a close look at these pictures. Those are the people that are going to turn the Senate and House over to the Democrats in November. Mr. Liberty 5. The drumbeat of the left is race, gender, class. Hertz 101. I asked this question last night. Never got an answer. I like equality. I like equal pay for women doing the same job as men. I like to see women in leadership positions. Why do I have to register for the draft and you don't? Do you want 100% equality or 85% equality? I don't see a single sign saying make the draft fair. Sell, desell. Why do the female winners at Wimbledon make just as much as the men when they only play best of 3 sets and the men playing best of 5? Equal pay for equal work, right? Big Boy 9105. Men own this as your issue. Let's not talk about doing it because we have daughters and sisters and mothers. Do it because we know we will be more prosperous when we as men step up. Wild Hog 1000. Just make it clear. Tackling issues such as homelessness and crime begins with addressing domestic and sexual abuse against women because of the domino effect they have on the community. And that's what's happening in the chat room with DEE'S Knows.
Tassie Hawthorne from sunny California, and I listen to STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on Facebook Live.
AP Radio News. I'm Ed Donahue. A train crashed into a garbage truck near Charlottesville, Virginia. On the train, Republican members of Congress headed to a retreat in West Virginia. Oregon Republican Congressman Greg Walden was on that train.
A standard white garbage truck, like runs through all of our neighborhoods, ripped in half. The garbage container part of the truck is severed from the tractor itself and is separated by, probably 50 feet or so.
One person on the truck was killed and 2 others were seriously injured. On the train, staff members say Minnesota Congressman Jason Lewis was injured. The FBI says it has grave concerns about the accuracy of a classified memo on the Russia investigation. The AP's Sagar Meghani reports President Trump wants to release that memo to the public.
Pushed last night by a lawmaker after the State of the Union address to release the memo.
Don't worry, 100%.
House Intelligence Committee Republicans drafted and voted to release the memo, which they say reveals improper use of surveillance by the FBI and Justice Department in the Russia probe. But the Bureau says it's only had a limited chance to review a memo, which it claims leaves out some important facts. The rare public statement adds to a controversy that's openly divided the White House and the Justice Department, which says the memo should not be made public. The president's chief of staff tells Fox News Radio he expects it will be released soon. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The Trump administration is expected to let nearly 7,000 Syrians remain in the U.S. for another 18 months, but won't let more Syrian citizens apply for the Temporary Protected Status program. The expected decision follows a contentious debate within the Trump administration about whether to cut the program. At Janet Yellen's last meeting as Fed chairman, the Fed decided not to raise a key interest rate, but more interest rates may be coming. This is AP Radio News. The director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Brenda Fitzgerald, has resigned. The AP's Mike Stovey reports there were financial conflicts of interest involving Fitzgerald's investments in healthcare businesses.
This week, there was a report from another news agency, Politico, that said while she was divesting her initial stocks, her tobacco stocks and others, her financial manager bought a new round of stocks, and those included a tobacco company and some healthcare companies. All this is just causing a lot of heads to shake.
Fitzgerald had said she sold the stocks. At the Super Bowl in Minneapolis, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked if there will be any changes regarding national anthem protests during games.
I don't know what we'll consider in the offseason. I'm still trying to get through the Super Bowl. We'll spend and turn our attention to the priorities in the offseason.
Goodell says he has not spoken to President Trump about the anthem protests. I'm Ed Donahue, AP Radio News.
At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Check out Reverend Bill Miller's Bible Study radio broadcast live on the new STMK Radio 100 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please listen in and support him as he joins the realm of broadcasting to encourage believers and offer the comfort of God to others across the airwaves. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100. Also, feel free to contact him for prayer, counseling, and conversation at brobill9608@yahoo.com. That's BROBILL9608@yahoo.com. At the Table with Reverend Bill Miller on STMK Radio 100.
And now back to John with the weather.
Yes, Andy. Tonight, a big storm. Storm this! Get the soccer offer from Pizza Hut and Pepsi. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. Yes, Pepsi soccer ball. Don't miss the Pizza Hut and Pepsi soccer offer. With every 2 medium pan Super Supreme, you get a real soccer ball and 4 cans of Pepsi for free. What about the weather, Andy? Don't resist and call 19,000 now.
You want to know how to stop the madness? Listen to STMK Radio 100 and keep it 100.
Stop the madness. Keeping it 100 on STMK Radio 100. And now back to your host one more time, Sean L., Let, and Tone the Stuff.
I am a supporter of the black church. I am a descendant of black preachers. I do not have a problem with the religious views of church. I have a problem with the political economic behavior of churches. Any institution that collects millions of dollars from black people year in and year out must be politically and economically accountable to black people. If you are taking money, then you cannot justify that purely with emotional entertainment. It does not cost money to save souls. It does not cost money to preach the gospel. It does not cost money to prepare people to die. There is no entry fee to heaven. So if you are collecting money, you must build institutions, banks, schools, hospitals, and supermarkets, period.
In the words of my fellow American Malcolm X, I'm gonna make it plain.
Hey, we right back, and we in the middle of our Me Too movement conversation, and we're going to come right back on the air, and we're going to go to our phone lines. And on the phones, we have Jenny. Jenny, what's up with you?
How you doing, man?
We're doing real good. You're calling in. Tell us what the Me Too movement means to you and what you think of it.
I mean, I feel like, it's good that we're seeing that, women taking a stand for, harassment in the workplace. Me personally, I feel that's a good thing. You got people coming together as a unified front. So I think that's a really good thing to see us coming together and, stopping all this stuff in the workplace and everything like that, because Quad has kept this type of stuff probably been going on for a very, very long time without any recognition. People sweeping underneath the rug and everything else. So to me personally, I feel it's a good thing. So it's good to see that people can come together without having, fighting and all that. So I feel it's a good thing to me personally.
What's your personal feeling behind it, my little young Jedi?
Personally, if we're going to get into it,
well, that's the name of the show. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
I look at it like this. So we're going to be all the way 100. I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000. I feel like to me, I also feel, too, you get a lot of people who just want to get on bandwagons. You get one person want to sit there and say, oh, I was touched in the workplace. Then you get this other person want to say it. Then it just becomes a trend. And everybody just want to just try to bring somebody down. So me, personally, with that being said, I'm going to go to the Bill Cosby scandal. Okay. Everybody want to talk about, like, he did this, he did that. My thing is, this man is 80-something years old, man, health problems, he could barely walk. All these people just don't want to come out and say, oh, he done did this to me, he touched me, he did this. Why are you waiting 20, 30, 40 years to make a statement? That's just like if I walk outside and somebody I had beef with in high school shoot me, I'm not going to sit up there and just let it fall to the wayside. And 8 years later, go tell the police, hey, that guy Joe Snow shot me when I was coming out my house. It happened 20 years ago, so I think I'll tell you now, just so you know.
Well, I'm going
to
ask you this question that we was asking earlier in the show in our first hour before we went to our break. If me and, or say you and a woman on your job have a consensual relationship, both of y'all agree to this, okay? Is it fair when y'all break up for her to come back and destroy your career?
In all honesty, no, because, and that's what's going on a lot now too, is like you'll get a woman and you'll get a man at the job, they'll sit up there and they'll go out for drinks after work and hang around and everything else, and next thing you know, fellas start getting involved, and next thing you know, they're, oh, why don't you come over? And then next thing you know, they have consensual sex, and then all of a sudden now, she wants this relationship, and he was, no, I don't want that. I was just, I want to test the waters. And now she telling her little girlfriends, and they, oh, if I was you, girl, you know what I would do? I'd get him messed up and da-da-da-da. You got vindictive women like that.
Exactly, 100%.
And what's crazy about the situation is, let's just put it out there. How many men at these jobs been backed into a corner or painted into a corner by a woman? But see, if a man goes and say, like, I feel I was harassed by Catherine, they gonna laugh at him like, oh, you a punk, you a punk. You gonna get laughed at.
That's the same thing Sean said.
No, it's the same thing as even kind of even going off subject, even speaking as a police officer. It's the same thing with domestic violence. A woman can sit there, you ain't even got to touch her. You can just be like, get out my face and walk away. She can call the police, say, he hit me, and guess what the police gonna do? They come in 5 cars deep with their gloves on, tasers and guns drawn, looking at you like you the criminal. You like, I ain't did nothing to her. And then they say, boom, now you facing all this time, lost wages, money for a lawyer to try to prove your innocence. Just for her to come out later on down the line and be like, oh, I was just mad at him because we were breaking up, but he really never touched me.
Hey,
now, he lost wages.
Hey, Jenny, you ain't talking about one of your subjects, are you?
See,
oh no.
That's why Saxman always in trouble. All right, there. But hey,
hey, look, he was my former police chief, man. Hey, I already know. I think a lot of trouble with that dude.
Hey, that's Jenny from the land. Hey, we appreciate you giving us a call, my brother, and staying with us.
No doubt.
Hey, stay with us and come back and show us some more love. That was
no doubt.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks. So now you heard the caller right there from the land. We had the phone lines open. Now I want to say this, J Max. You had something to say before we went to break.
You pretty much said it.
Yeah.
You pretty much said it. It's about retaliation a lot of times.
But I'm gonna say this again.
I mean, women get mad and get vindictive, especially if your relationship was public and then the guy doesn't want a relationship now.
Right, but
people knew y'all was sleeping around, whatever, and now you like, you backing up.
But see,
so women get mad and get vindictive, or they don't get what they want.
This is why I'm saying that conversation need to be had, because we are putting everything on the table, and I think that we need to back up for a minute, because you can't group everything together, okay? And this is something that nobody thought about when the Me Too movement went out.
It's more about sexual harassment, though. That's what people need to understand.
Unwanted advances. See, the thing I have is like what the last caller said. Unwanted advances is if I'm forcing you into something, or I'm making you feel uncomfortable, or if I'm making the workplace unbearable, that's sexual harassment.
And that's what the actresses was talking about when they trying to get like cash for a certain movie or character.
Okay.
That the director would come at them kind of like, well, yeah, I can hook you up with this, but you got to do this and do that.
Right.
And
that's
a lot of them
unwanted.
had to do it in order to get to where they are today.
But that's sexual harassment.
Right.
That's pretty much what they were saying.
And I'm going to go back into it, that we lumping into things when I say, ladies in the chat room are just going really wild. When I say consensual, that's what I mean, a consensual relationship between the parties, okay? Even though it's bad that you're working, if I'm your boss, I should not be sleeping with my workers.
Right.
Okay.
Well, okay. Now you got it to the point where you can't even ask women out.
No, you can't.
Well, you
Not
should.
today,
Well, let me say this.
But first of all, if we're consenting adults, what is wrong with asking a woman out at least once?
Well, let me say.
I wouldn't do it.
But
what is wrong with that?
But because women at this point in time feel that they don't even want you to say nothing to them on the job. Okay.
But you know what? Now I know. Now I've asked women. It depends on the man.
Well,
certain men can get away with that,
and certain men can't. But the question comes back.
So keep it 100% all the time.
Right. But the question comes back, if she does accept this conversation, and she does accept the treatment that she's getting, and she does go along with it, okay, at the end she comes back and end this career. Okay.
She's dead wrong for
She's
that.
dead wrong.
Okay.
Right.
So see, when you look at it from the man perspective, we all have to look at this. Billy Sharp is running for our state Senate House. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. I'm going to have to get you in here, man, and actually get you on the show and let you talk with us, because here go a gentleman right here that's going to make some changes. Billy is going to be a great congressman in Ward District 10. We need to get out and vote for him. And he's going to have to make laws and decisions on exactly what we're talking about right now, sexual harassment and the Me Too movement. Because the Me Too movement, believe it or not, 2018, 2020, is going to hand the House, the Congress, and the Senate, and some state House seats over to the new and improved politicians that's going to come in and change things for us and give us that change that we need and get rid of the status quo. Tone the Stone is in the house with us, and we got a guest right now with us, and we're gonna go to our part B plan of the second hour. I know we came back around for that phone call. We're gonna talk to our man Robert Overton right there. He's in the house with us. But Robert, before we talk to you about the values of being a homeowner, I want to go to J Mac. J Mac, did you hear what the doctor said about the church?
Yeah, I believe in it a lot.
Come back up a little bit. I didn't hear that. We'll come in the mic and let's have our conversation right there.
Well, it's about 20 different things I could say about that. For one, people always concerned about what the pastor is getting paid and what the people bring in, but they're not concerned about what their doctors being paid, with their sports star when LeBron's being paid. They care about what the pastors being
But
paid.
shouldn't the church reinvest that money into the community, such as
They should, yeah.
Such as how? Well, did you understand when he says that any church that collects money for 30 years or more in the community?
Well, for one thing, I don't agree with. He said it does not cost money to sell you souls. It does cost money to operate a church.
Okay, yes, okay, but he
Let me
also
ask, but
he also
ain't
said
that money tax free?
But he also
you compared it to a doctor, Jay, a second ago. That money that church collects and that pastor more or less is responsible for, that's tax free money, right? So you can't compare it to a doctor's salary. He's earning.
But no, why are
he's
people?
He's doing a job, a skill that he was taught. That he went to school for years and years.
But
Tone,
don't
let a big difference.
Tone, don't let Mac off the hook, because I want to know something where shouldn't the church reinvest the money that they're taking out of the community back into the community, such as giving us stores,
that
hospitals?
Should be written into the
First of all,
shouldn't they be held accountable to the people of the community that's paying them?
Yes.
Okay.
And that starts with the people that's paying them. They should hold the church responsible.
That's what I said. The community. That's where the tithe is coming from. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want.
First of all, okay, the church should be able to provide jobs.
I agree with that, because that's what the doctor said. If you listen to the doctor when coming in, some of the things I can get with Dr. Johnson on. Some of the things I can look at what he's saying, because it is true. Because if the church take an interest in the community, just think about this right here, people. And I'm going to just take this city, and I'm not even talking about Atlanta with the mega churches, okay?
Okay, you're 100% right.
Okay, but hold on for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on for a minute. In that one area, you got 7 churches in that one strip. Why does that area look like World War II city after B-52 bomb run? Okay, so we have to ask ourselves that, and I think
I ask myself that all the time.
Okay, so I think
just going to church, I'm like, wow.
I think when the doctor said that the church has to be held accountable, and they have to reinvest in schools. Remember when we had our conversation last week? A community consists of 4 things: schools, hospitals, banks, and a grocery store. Our communities don't have neither, none.
Why?
That's the question. What we trying to find out, why we are not reinvesting back into our community to make it a community.
Well, can I say this too though about the church?
Go ahead.
All right, first of all, if the head of the church is crooked, everything else gonna be crooked. So at first is the head of the church right and true before God themselves. Now, if you go to church and you got the deacons doing this and the deaconess doing all of that, yeah, hey, it's nothing but a tax-free business, because the church do have to make money.
I can't speak for every church.
Well, no, I'm not speaking for every church. I'm saying now you do have churches out there.
We just being general now. General.
Yeah,
This is not right. No one personal
Right.
church.
Churches
churches.
do feed. They do have food drives every month.
But you know what? The church need to do more than just handing fish to a person. They need to teach them how to fish.
How to fish. Because you look at our communities, okay, and this is why we're coming back into part 2 of our capital investment B into the community. I want to go right into this right here, and I want everybody
to meet the community where it needs you the most.
Right, but I want everybody to hold their
Where
thought
it
right.
needs
I want everybody to hold their thought right there, because we have a young man who is a master realtor getting into the field that's going to tell us right here. Robert Overton is sitting here. Robert, I want you to tell us, what is the value of owning a home, and what does it do in the community if you're a homeowner versus a renter?
Well, they say homeowners are 10 times more richer than, than renters. Than renters. So if you're a homeowner, you're 10 times more richer than a renter. Also, you have something, I call it like a shelter against poverty. You have something that has collateral. I mean, the price of rent is so high right now. If you look, you can purchase a home and you can be paying something on having equity in it. And if you ever need to get money out, you can pull money out that home. Also, what it does for the home, it gives people a sense of pride of their neighborhood. It makes you want to go cut your grass. It makes you want to go and make sure your home is together. You know, and that's what it does. When you're a renter, the roof over your head truly is not secure because the landlord could turn around and sell that home right from underneath you and don't really have to say anything to you.
Now let me ask you this. As a realtor, and I'm coming to you to buy a home in the community, what are some of the questions that I should be aware of? What should I be asking you or asking myself to ask you that I should know?
Well, the first thing the realtor should do is explain to you his role, whether he's a buyer's agent or a seller's agent, and if he ever walks into a home, if he has his home listed. The reason that came about is because it was realtors, people was going into homes, liking a home, loving a home, and saying, hey, I'll pay this much for this home. And then when it came to the closing table, they found out that this realtor was representing the seller. And they was telling the seller, the listing agent, everything, they was letting the fox into the hen house. So you should ask, are you a buyer's agent? Are you a seller's agent? It's best to always find a buyer's agent if you're looking to buy a home.
What's the difference between for sale by owner or Century 21?
A for sale by owner is like if you get a home and you want to sell it yourself. You know, you're gonna have to do the paperwork. You know, do the title search. You're gonna have to do stuff like that. But if you run into a realtor who finds a for sale by owner, the realtor should come in and then talk to you, and the realtor could use their broker's documents to go ahead and then make the process and transaction easier.
Is it cheaper to buy from a person that's selling by owner or go through a realtor?
It's better to go through a realtor.
Okay.
It's really better to go through a realtor because a realtor has the knowledge of the neighborhood. There are certain times where, let's say, you're gonna be an investor, and if you can, and you know your craft, if you can go and find a home that's with back taxes, and you could go ahead and buy the home, but you still gonna have to. You should pay for a title company, do a title check to make sure no liens are on it.
Right, exactly.
To make sure all of that.
Any points is on a house.
So let me ask you this: Should I be asking you as the realtor, like how old the roof is, what the structure is? Should I be asking you how long it's been on the market?
Most definitely you should, but a good realtor should say so. When you walk into a home, what I do with all my clients, I say the first thing you want to look at is the roof. If the roof is old or worn, then that could be, I'm not an inspector, but that could be a major money issue. Then I always recommend go down to the basement, go to the bones of the house, which is look at the foundation. Does the basement smell overly moldy? Does the basement look like it has water issues? Do you see cracks in the basement walls? Does the basement walls look like they're shifting? I'm not an inspector, but I tell people that. Then the next thing, I call it the internal organs or the functions of the home.
The furnaces and stuff
The
like that.
furnace, the hot water tank, circuit breakers. You do not want fuses, circuit breakers. Then those are the big issues right there. And I always recommend a general inspection. If you run into a realtor who said, oh, don't worry about a general inspection, I will run from that realtor.
Now, who should hire when I come to you? I should hire my own inspector. I shouldn't let the seller or nobody recommend an inspector. I should hire my own inspector who's working for me, correct?
Well, let me say this. The seller doesn't have your best interest in mind. The listing agent doesn't have your best interest in mind. Technically, the buyer's agent duty is to you. Yes, you should. You can and you should. You can hire your own inspector. But if your agent knows a great inspector, I mean, hey, you can use him. But it's about your peace of mind.
When I bought my house, I used my inspector, even though the insurance people said they bring theirs over. My inspector was $150 cheaper than theirs, and did just a good enough job as they, because they sent theirs out and then I brought mine in.
Well, let me say this right here, Robert. I want
Mm-hmm.
to ask you this question. When the seller put the house up, and when I start asking for the price, should I know if the house is based on the actual value of the house, or is it based on the value of the houses in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
or is it based on the house that's sold in the neighborhood? So which should I be looking at as a buyer?
As a buyer, you first of all, you gotta look at the price range you're in, and then when you do make an offer on a home, you want to know the comparable market analysis. Is this house overpriced? Is this house priced right? You know, like they're saying, you don't want to buy a house where it's the most expensive home on the block. You have no real equity in it. It's better to buy the cheapest house on the block, and then all of a sudden, the other homes, you have more equity in that home, and your home, the value can be pulled up.
Okay.
But as of right now, people have to understand this is a seller's market. I mean, if homes are literally being listed 0 days on the MLS and coming off the market like that.
Now they have a thing where like
The multiple listing services to MLS.
Right. They have a thing going on right now where like Western Reserve and all these agencies are buying up homes and selling them, rehabbing them and selling them.
Right.
Is that a good buy? You know, is that a good thing for if you want to be a first-time homeowner or?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't know anything about the Western Reserve. I know around certain areas in Cleveland, you can say they're doing what, gentrification.
Right.
You know, and they're trying to bring the city back, or that's what they call it.
What areas are these?
Well, you got to remember the Intellectual and Cultural Center of Cleveland is on the east side, University Circle.
Right.
You know, Martin Luther King Boulevard, that Culture Garden, at one time, that area was very expensive. You know, so you don't want.
That was called Millionaires Row, wasn't it?
Exactly. You don't want, in any great civilization, people want to know where the intellectual people go, the arts, the museums, the scholars go.
Right.
And that's in University Circle. You don't want people to be riding through MLK Boulevard, Martin Luther King Boulevard, or on East Boulevard, and they make the wrong turn, and all of a sudden they're in the area. They're like, where are we at?
Right.
So that's what they're trying to do.
And they moving the people out of that area. Now, you know, they did something when they built. They wouldn't let them tear the houses down over there on 105th, and they put the historical stamp on them, made them rehab the houses and stuff. And I noticed that I was looking at a thing with Cleveland Clinic. They had 20-year plan there where they was coming in, building up, going all over there. Now those people that they're moving out, are they buying in the suburbs, or are they? They're most of them are renters. Are they pushing them out toward the suburbs or the outer ring?
Well, it's not so much pushing people out; it's what a person decides. You have to realize. You have to realize that the first thing that people want in the community is safety and good schools, and people sometimes, if they can go and get a home in a let's say nicer area, that's where they're moving to, even though they don't realize the reason that neighborhood is where it's at is because of them. And if they make the change instead of throwing out their trash, you know, if they stop doing illegal activities in their own neighborhood,
Parking on their drive, parking on the grass.
Right.
you know, banging their music loud all night long,
keeping their neighbors up all night.
right? You know, they can bring that neighborhood back, but it's about them.
Now we was looking at some things that South Euclid. Matter of fact, when the election was going on, I had a guy here. The foreclosure crisis is still hurting a lot of suburbs, and for the people that's in the buying market, is banks, are they reinvesting in these properties, or are they just letting them go, or is that a good buy?
You have to realize banks is in one business, and that is to make money. If it's really no money in that community, the banks probably really won't invest in that community. You know, and that's why in certain neighborhoods and certain communities, contractors are coming in with cash and totally remodeling the homes. You know, remember, banks ain't into making money; they're into making profit. That's how they stay open.
Right. You know, during the foreclosure crisis, a lot of banks redlined cities, and they started tearing the house down and just giving the land to the land bank because they didn't want to be held accountable for it. But in a lot of the suburbs, we finding that the banks had stopped the foreclosure, but threw the people out of there. But they don't want to take control of the property because if somebody going there stripping to get hurt or something, then the bank's accountable for it. So they leave the person's name on the lease or the title that was previously there in hopes that nothing happens until they can either turn it around or sell the property. So as a person that's out there in the real estate and you know about this, are the VA homes still good buys?
Oh, a VA loan is a great loan. A VA loan is a great loan. They don't have no down payment. You can get the closing costs. It's a solid loan when you get a VA buyer.
The percentage is not as high as your regular AP. Is it APY or?
That's something that I would say you would talk to a good loan officer about.
Okay.
And also to answer your question about the banks, I'm not a banker. I'm not a that's not my hat that I wear. So I can't really answer that question.
Okay.
But to be honest, the VA loan is an excellent loan. The FHA loan is an excellent loan.
Okay.
Those loans was put into place to help people get homes.
And that's still the Fannie Mae, right? Or
Federal Housing Administration.
Okay.
Yeah, Fannie.
Right.
Okay.
And another thing is sometimes the state of Ohio has something called the Ohio Housing Financial Administration, where if you don't get a VA loan and your credit score is high enough, you can get a down payment grant, not loan of value like some banks do with loan of value, meaning they rolling it back into your loan and you still have to pay it. It's a grant. You don't have to pay that money back if your credit score is high enough.
I heard about that one.
And you can go to the website, just Google.
Yeah, I heard about that.
OFA.
Hey, we're going
offered it to me. I didn't take
we're
it.
going to have Robert's information and we're going to put it out on our Facebook and social media pages. But Robert, if somebody's looking for a realtor, how would they get a hold of you?
Oh, you call me at 216-338-2130. And like I say, I'm always taking the lead to serve you.
Say that number again.
216-338-2130. And I'm always taking the lead to serve you.
Do you have an email?
Yeah, my email is robleton.realtor@gmail.com.
Hey, this is your young brother right here. Y'all really need to check him out because remember here at Stop the Madness, Keep It 100, we promote our young black man, and we want y'all to come in because he knows the operation in the neighborhoods. He knows what's going on in the city, and you need to become a homeowner so we can lock in our communities and put them back the way they used to be.
Right.
But right there, Robert, I really appreciate you being with us tonight, but I want to change our little steps right there because I want to go back to Jay Mack, what the doctor said, and me and Jay was talking about this last week. My thing is that the community has to be invested in by the church. And Jay, I'm gonna tell you this right here. I remember you said something you was doing, and I applaud you for that when you was walking the street with the casket and you was going on the corners. That's the first church I heard say that they was going on the corner to the young people and confronting them. And that's something that we really need.
No,
You good? Go ahead.
When I joined back in what was it 02, 03, we had a ministry like that. Even before the Cass's Crusades, what was just done this past summer.
Okay.
But that was the first ministry I ever joined.
And
it was called Thug Life.
Right, but you know, I
we used to hit the streets. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all the males in the church.
No, it was about 10 of us. It wasn't all the males. You know what I'm saying? It was about 10 of us.
Because you know, at my church we have what is known as the brotherhood. Okay. And when I was a Mason, we tried to get that. And I'm going to say this is that we need positive male figures out of the church in the community, showing our kids the proper way. Tony Stone, our millennial, the Diamond Boy. I don't think I forgot about you over the Tone.
But Tone been quiet.
Hey,
I'm letting y'all shine.
But we also need, you know, as the doctor said, that when the church is getting millions and millions of dollars from the community, they have to reinvest. And our community,
but the average church is not getting millions and millions of dollars.
I'm talking about over a 30-year period, and you are correct. And I don't know the things about all the churches, but what I want to say is that all the hospitals are gone in our cities, except Metro. And somebody pointed this out in the chat room from YouTube. Do you understand that in Cleveland Heights, our community, 105th, Superior, 55th, St. Clair, all back around, that was the Gold Coast, and we got the realtor right here. I don't know if he knows the history of it. That was the Gold Coast, and all that area was flying and was popping. until the riots.
Yes.
And when the riots happened, they moved and went all up to Cleveland Heights, Beechwood, and built the malls. That's where the malls actually came from, okay? Because before there was stores, okay? So they keep, in Cleveland Heights, they got a hospital, they got banks, they have grocery stores, and their community has it set up where credit unions, where everybody giving back to the community and everybody's in the community working together, okay? Now, coming down into Glenville, Huff, Harvard, we don't have grocery stores are gone. Banks are gone. You got to go. I don't even think we have any Home Depots or Lowe's.
No, they in the outskirts.
In the outskirts. So the inner city, there's really nothing unless you go to, what's that, Steelyard?
Steelyard Commerce. That's
Okay.
the closest to them.
University Circle.
Well, University Circle has everything, but that's a college town. So let's take University Circle right there. University Circle is more or less set up for the college kids and the elderly people in the buildings that they put there.
Right.
It's not equipped to handle the whole community, okay? Like the grocery store that was Pick and Pay right there at 123rd.
Right.
Where the whole community can go and get some food, milk, eggs, everything where they can shop and
The
get
closest
everything.
grocery store near there is 79th, Simon's on 79th and Euclid in that plaza. It's the closest grocery store.
Is that a grocery store?
In
That's a
Cleveland
grocery
Heights, the
store.
church are not
That's the
sponsoring these stores.
We didn't say the church was sponsoring the stores in Cleveland Heights. I said the community has. Okay, our community.
I mean, there's a need. I mean, the community is a need.
Right.
That's why.
And our community needs. There's a need in our community. Think about.
They have grocery stores. I mean, that's not a hospital. That's not.
I'm talking about inner city.
That's what
okay.
you mean.
Our community. Right.
You know, okay, in the inner city.
Right. I'm talking about inner city.
All suburbs got grocery stores. And
all
banks.
Suburbs have grocery store
they
chains.
Got them.
Schools, banks.
Inner cities ain't got hardly nothing.
Wait, I don't even know.
Save a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's not
but
true.
That's not considered a grocery store that we're talking about. Like you say, Dave's and Giant Eagle, stuff like that.
Okay, I stay in Cleveland Heights. Now the Dave's in the inner city are different than the Dave's in Cleveland Heights. Well, it's only one Dave's in Cleveland Heights.
Right, and that's the one right there in Severance.
Yeah, and it's a lot different. So there are
It's
Dave's.
big, it's clean, and it got everything you need in there.
Well, exactly.
I like the Dave's on Payne now. The Dave's on Payne.
Has been in the community for a long time.
I like the Dave's. You can get a lot of stuff from that Dave's on Payne.
So what?
It's a multicultural area.
Right.
It's a multicultural
and that's
area.
why it's a different. That one in Cleveland Heights is.
That's true.
Right. This is what I want y'all to look at.
Multicultural area.
This is what I want y'all to look at. Every city has a Germantown. They have Chinatown. They have
Little Italy.
Everything is set up in that area. Black-owned businesses is rare in
well, wait a minute.
cities.
Find me a black-owned business in Cleveland.
Well, you have small, but I'm talking about, yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of black.
Sean couldn't even come up with one.
Well, the brother that's on the billboards with the funeral parlor, the young brother on the billboards with the funeral parlor.
Right. Well, that's big business. Okay.
Deaf
is
talking
big
about a black-owned business
but I want to say where's the black-owned bank? Do we have a black-owned bank in our city?
We don't have a black-owned bank.
Other cities do. We don't. Okay. I think what
I know
it is.
Plenty of black-owned car lots,
but no black-owned restaurants, big-time restaurants. We got franchises, but it's not actually black-owned. It's franchises.
So what is it? I mean,
you got a black guy in there running it.
That's where
there's a
people.
black guy running it, but it's a franchise.
And then we have to look at this too. Crime.
The blacks don't invest their money like that. You can't blame it on the church.
I had an answer for that. I was gonna go there.
Okay, yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about right there. You just hit that. If the church would invest in the community, and then maybe get other people on the flock to invest in the community.
Right.
Okay. Somebody has to take the lead.
Right.
Okay. And just because the community is not equipped to take that lead, maybe the institutions who is relying on the community and taking money from the community might have to take that lead. Look at the hospitals that we lost.
Yeah.
Okay, we have no black hospitals or nowhere for people in the community to go for medical treatment.
You get shot in East Cleveland, you got to go all the way to Metro, and that's a long drive.
Or you got to go out.
I was born in
now.
Forest
You
Hills,
can go to
East Cleveland,
university
but
now.
it wasn't East Cleveland.
Yeah.
You go to university.
But we talking about trauma ones. There's no trauma
They
one.
got trauma one in UH.
Oh, they went to a trauma one there.
UH went
Really?
to trauma one.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
About time.
UH went to trauma
Because
one.
before then, the only one was at a Metro.
Right. They closed the one down in East Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to this. It goes back to the same scenario. We can point the finger at the preachers, and Lord God knows, I believe, our some preachers being fat cats, yes, and they messing it up for the other preachers that's out there trying to save lives and do the work of God.
Exactly.
So
There you
yes,
go.
they are.
Okay.
But the bottom line is you have to look at yourself. If you read your Bible, it is about you making the change yourself. And that's the bottom line. We can look at these churches and say, oh, you need to give us food. What about we going out, getting the education ourselves? What about we going out instead of saying black employment is at an all-time high? Bro, won't you hire yourself?
Thank you.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying? Hire yourself. But the deal is, then you got the stigma where before I became a realtor, I used to do another business. I used to be a tax man. And I'm not going to talk taxes, but I did taxes, and I had a client, I said, here, I'll sell you this stamp for 50 cents. This is the price I paid for it. This lady got mad at me for trying to sell her a stamp for 50 cents. She said, I'll go to the corner store and pay for it. I said, the corner store going to charge you 75 cents. Well, I'll go there. But the only way you can get around that is like with the Me Too movement, so you don't get caught up in it, is that you don't smell your britches and you be professional.
Right.
And you be professional.
And everybody has
And
to
that's
chip
what you
in.
have to do.
It's like the village. We talk about the village with our millennial right there. That everybody has to chip in the movement, and everybody has to take a thing. Like we know some kids don't have parents. Okay.
Oh, a lot of them in the inner city.
So that means that we have to take the place of the parent. Okay. We know a lot of kids are victimizing the elderly and the community with crime. So we have to take the place of the police. Okay, because if we don't police ourselves, somebody else is going to police us. Okay, so we understand that, and we look at that, and you have to look at a lot of the fathers.
Who was willing to do that?
Well, okay, Jay.
Well, that's what I'm talking right there.
I know, I have.
Well, Jay, that's what I'm talking about right
I
there.
have.
About the church maybe stepping in.
I mean, even
certain
before I got
locations.
into the church, I used to do that. I mean, that's how I
Okay.
was raised.
Okay.
And like me and my cousin were just talking about this Saturday in the barbershop. Like, okay, you got Quincy and you got Cedar. Okay, you got on one part of 87 that's right by a church. It's like 3. I'm not gonna mention the church. Well, you know the church.
Go ahead and say it.
Olivet.
Okay, I know.
I was wondering, like, why is it's only like 2. I mean, my grandmother, they raised us on that street, and people homeowners took pride. How he said before, they took pride. You couldn't even spit on the street. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm serious. You couldn't literally anything. You know what I'm saying? And it got way different. Now on the other side of 87, it's by 88th, 89th. You got Cleveland Clinic. You know what I'm saying? They gonna take care of that side. You know what I'm saying? But the sides, you got Olive Grove and Olivet right there. Now I don't know about Olive Grove, but I know Olivet. They can afford to do things. I used to always wonder, like, why aren't they doing anything with the neighborhood? That doesn't look right.
Well, to some,
I don't know what's going
churches
on.
are
I don't know what's going on
business.
over there.
Some churches are business. It's not to help and teach religion. Some it's a business. I hate to say that.
Well, that's true
some,
too.
It's a business to them.
But what we need to
exactly.
do
But the thing.
But this is what I want everybody to do for next week. I want y'all to think about this because we're going to go back to our part 3 of capital investment in the black community. And I want y'all to think about what we can do with our people in the community to give them the idea to get them to invest
To
back.
get the black people to spend money in their neighborhood.
But they want to. First of all, they want to hook up. They'll go out to the malls and these white stores and pay them top price.
But then they come in the neighborhood and
let me
they
get a
want to
hook
hook
up.
up.
Exactly.
I want to hook up right here because we're gonna be remiss because Sunday is Super Bowl.
Is it?
Yep. So
already,
I want to know is my boy Brady is gonna be the GOAT of all time.
But wait a minute, did you see the listing about they saying the NFL is rigged?
Yeah.
Did
I
you see
did
that?
see that.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
saw
God!
No, that's all fake, Saxman. Please
That's
don't
fake
bring,
news.
That's fake news.
No, I mean,
Don't bring that rumor
I
back
mean,
up here.
it might not be rigged, but I believe that they lean towards Tom Brady. He's a good.
Well, somebody got to stop him. So we're gonna go around the horn right here because we're gonna end this show on a good note, people. We're gonna end this show right here. We're gonna talk a little sports. We haven't talked sports in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and so much is going on in politics because next week we're gonna have the Justice Department versus the White House versus Congress. We're gonna have so much politics to talk, but I want to break it down on a good note before we leave out of here tonight. Robert, Philadelphia or New England?
I'm going with New England.
Okay, you're going with the GOAT. Okay. J Mac from the shop.
I'm going to go with Philadelphia.
Jay going with Philly. Tone and Stone.
Defense wins championships.
You know, I don't have a team in this game, but if I got to make a choice, it's going to be New England.
You got to make a choice.
Brady
okay?
is the best ever. Man.
Now,
but you know what? The last two times that Brady got beat was by a strong
defensive team. But I'm going to go right there.
Pass rush.
Right. I want to go like this because you know why?
I still put my money on New England.
But this is the problem right here, and I'm going to say this. Brady's been lucky because last year Atlanta folded like a deck of cards.
You mean Cleveland South?
Yeah, Cleveland South. Right. ATL in the house. I want everybody to know ATL. I said it. Y'all folded like a piece of cards.
They know they did. They didn't put no pressure
I want
on Tom
everybody
Brady.
sitting right here. Is Brady going to be, if he wins, what's that, 7 Super Bowls out of 10? I
think so.
Okay. Would he be the GOAT? Is he going to be the GOAT of the NFL?
He already the GOAT, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know, because, you know, my Browns had some good history
I
back
gotta
in the
get
50s
my
and
Browns
60s.
in there.
I'm talking about quarterback. I'm not talking, you can't
Otto
compare
Graham.
every
Otto
position.
Graham? What are you talking about, Otto Graham?
Otto Graham.
He don't compare to Brady.
What you mean he don't compare?
He don't compare to Brady.
Now, see, this is the thing.
Paul Brown.
Right. This is the thing I want to ask y'all right here, okay? So we got I ain't gave my choice yet, but I'm gonna wait for a minute. So we got 3 already for Brady and 1 for Philly. Now
wait, I'm the deciding vote here.
No.
Sax Man is the
What you say, Sax Man?
Up your phone, then.
Is it?
I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm trying to.
Is it?
work up on some.
Sax Man, is it? New England, or is it Philly?
I like my boy Brady, man. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, so Brady. So there's 3 Bradys, 1 Philly, and I'm gonna have to go with J Mac because you know what? I'm calling the upset. I am wearing my throwback New England stuff today because
wait, he gonna put on New England's clothes but go for Philly?
Right, because you know
you a sellout.
Wait a minute, last week I had Philly stuff on, so I'm wearing New England throwback stuff today. But my thing right here with J Mac is I think the defense is going to be the difference. And I think
remember when he went 16-0, had an undefeated season.
Man, let me tell you,
came
that boy's bad.
That giant defense,
that giant pass rush. It's about the pass rush.
Now my heart is telling me I'm with you, Robert, and Tony Stone, my millennial friend who doesn't have a choice in the thing because he watch soccer. Okay.
No, I say I don't have a team in there because
if the Browns,
team.
Oh, did you say team?
The Browns is the team that I would.
Okay.
Root for by default.
I'm with you right there. Okay, I thought you said you. I didn't hear you say team. That's my fault. I didn't have the headphones.
Tom
though.
Brady could be the GOAT though, and I don't like him. But
Well,
for me to say that means a lot.
7 out of
I
10.
like the team.
7
It
out
ain't
of
just
10
him. I
Super
like the
Bowls.
team.
You talking about 7 out of 10 Super Bowls now? That's a lot right there.
Exactly. But hold on, do we give him or Belichick a lot of credit? I mean, Tom Brady. Yeah, he's a bad boy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this.
I'm not a big fan, but he might be the GOAT.
Belichick know how to take people away, take your tools away from you. But Belichick ain't the one out there throwing them touchdown passes.
That's right.
Belichick drawing up that scheme.
Even though exactly, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
He the one that's putting the play together.
But the difference is
the Browns drafted Tom Brady. Would he would have been Tom Brady?
I think so. I think Tom.
You think he's that great? Probably. I agree with you.
I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna go on this line right here.
He is great.
If we would give Kaiser time to grow, if we give him time to grow, we got some pains. Okay, we got to go through our pains. But if we give him time, he's on that level of Brady because he got a great arm.
Can't we get somebody that we don't have to sit and wait on, man?
No, you got. even if we go get
they waited on Tom. You gotta remember, Tom Brady came in, but what was his name?
Drew Bledsoe got
Drew
hurt.
Bledsoe, yeah.
Brady set the bench. Okay,
Don't get it twisted, right?
And the thing is this, and I say this right here, with you, Saxon, man. We had this talk. When it comes time to sit in the prime time chair, either you shine or you fail.
Okay.
He shines.
And he
Brady
shines.
shines.
Yeah.
That's like Mike.
My boy bad.
Okay, so I'm looking at this right here. Sunday, I'm gonna come back around, and I want everybody to tell me right here. I'm put y'all on Front Street.
Tone first.
No, I'm gonna go to Robert first, our guest out of the Red Room. Robert, give me a score.
I say 27-23. They gonna keep it close to keep the people in it. You know, so they don't turn the channels to get the commercials money.
27-23, he said. Tone the Stone. Give me a score.
Yeah, I'm thinking something close to those terms, about 30 to 21.
Who will have 21?
New England gonna have
New
30.
England.
No, I don't see. That
England
means
gonna have
they're
30.
not going to get a touchdown a quarter. I don't
Hey,
see that. Not against
here
this
go all the
defense.
New England people. Sax man.
Not against that defense.
Come on, Sax man. Give it up, Sax man.
I'm gonna take it to the next level.
Yo, you're gonna take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level.
What is it?
All right, Philadelphia is gonna have maybe 17. New England's gonna have 34.
I don't know. No.
You know I gotta shake it up. I gotta be controversial.
Okay, hey, Rocky.
Let's hear it.
Rocky.
You man.
I'm Rocky. I'm Rocky today.
Rocky.
I'm looking around like who is Rocky?
Come on, Jake. Back.
I like him at like 21, 27, around in that area. I don't see like not say New England gonna have 21. I can't see them getting that's like an average, like you said, 34. That's a touchdown a quarter. Not against this Philly defense.
J Mac.
You mean tell me New England can't get 34 points?
But they can. But you know what, J Mac? I'm gonna do something different.
Well, hold on. Not against. They didn't get that.
Against Tennessee.
No, against in the
Jaguars.
Giants. In the Super Bowl.
But you know what, Jay?
That was a bad day.
You know what, J Mac?
Stomach upset,
I'm gonna call the ultimate. I'm gonna call the ultimate setup. I'm gonna call the ultimate upset.
Come on.
I'm gonna call it down the way it is. Philadelphia 45. The 42.
No, not with a backup quarterback. I don't see
and they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Remember, they do have a backup quarterback.
And they're gonna win it on a field goal. Remember that I said that they're gonna win it on a field goal.
Should I say 45? What?
45 to 42.
42. And that's gonna be what?
That's
New England?
thing.
No,
it's gonna be New England.
I'm going with Philly.
Y'all keep saying
y'all
keep saying what Tom Brady got all these like Super Bowl rings, but Adam Vinatieri.
Right, but you have to look at this here too.
We look at that though. Like last year, Tom Brady put up.
This is the question of the game. This is the question right here. I know what the New England people talk.
Well, he did against
but this
Atlanta.
This is for you, J Mac. This is the question of the game. Somebody got a Rocky Balboa to grunt. Okay, just like they put him out the game last week. Somebody on Philadelphia defense got to step up and put the hammer on Round Cross Street.
And they have the people to do that.
Now, wait a minute.
And that's if they come in with hitting like that, because he's subject to concussions. If they come in hitting like that and playing like they played last week against Minnesota, putting Brady on his back, not only will Philly shut him down, I think Philly can do what Atlanta couldn't do, and that's blow him out.
So you sound like you encourage foul play. You sound like you telling them to play dirty to win.
No, I'm telling them to put the hammer. Hey, this is the Super Bowl. Put the hammer down.
Exactly.
If you wait a minute. If you come across that middle,
you said try to. Like you encourage them to go out and seek to
So
get that man a concussion. That sounds like target in the head to
I
me.
seen Baltimore put it when Ray Lewis was still playing, putting on Tom Brady like that. They missed the field goal.
No, but he talking about Gronkowski. He talking about because he just had to suffer the injury.
No, I'm talking about when you constantly.
He said he want him to go out and purposely try to aim for that man's head again. That's what it sounded like to me.
That's the way to stop him.
Tone, I said if he come across the middle, put the hammer on.
Put the hammer and stop him.
That's what they do. That's what they get paid.
No. There's a difference. I mean, put the hammer on him. Make him think. Well, next time you come across the middle and Brady throw that ball. When Brady throw that ball to the middle, make him take 2 soft steps and look and see who coming.
Make him think about it.
Make him think about it real good.
Make him hear steps coming.
Brady been doing this for a long time against against a lot of rough and tough dudes.
No, not when Brady. If you watch the history, when Tom Brady is getting constantly hit.
Do you know the number one team in the NFL? Wait, you know
every quarterback get constantly
you know the
hit.
number one.
No, Tom
you
Brady
win
has
some, you lose some.
No,
he
no,
won
he
more
has
than he
the
lost.
quickest release.
Hey,
He has the
do
quickest
you know
release.
the number one team
So you don't
in
get
the
hit a
NFL?
lot.
The number one team,
Who?
Philadelphia, and they did it with a backup quarterback.
A backup quarterback. That's that defense.
Hey,
Defense wins
and you forget
championships,
the
Tom.
running game. You forget the run. They got New England's running game with LeBron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I haven't even been watching the games this season. So
Hey,
I'm just saying. I'm just going with my gut. New England is the
and who knows
is the de facto
Darren
winners.
Stroles may come back. Who knows who's gonna get up? Because when the Super Bowl, people come in and play hurt. T.O. played hurt with what, a broken ankle.
Well, this is what I want to know, Sean. Last year, me, you, and Doug Million had that little deal going on, right? And the loser had to come in dressed like
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Out. This year, here's another year.
Well, we ain't gonna.
And this time it's 4 of us, 5 of us.
Well,
Okay,
Robert,
what's it gonna be?
Yeah, what's it gonna be? The loser gonna come in
well,
here
well,
like
this is what we're gonna do. Me and J Mac has taken Philadelphia, so
the two of y'all lose.
You know, I'm going for the upset. My heart tells me New England, but my brain.
Listen to him
my
backing
brain.
out.
No, I'm not backing out.
Backing out.
No,
Listen
no,
to
I'm
him.
He don't want to
keeping
come in
it
here
straight.
like
My
Mr.
heart
Rogers.
tells
No,
me.
he won't go like
Wait,
Mr.
wait,
Rogers.
I'm
You're
gonna tell you,
gonna have
but
to
I'm going
beat-
with the upset. I'm calling the
Yeah,
upset.
I'm going with the upset too.
I'm calling the
You have to
upset.
beat New England
Y'all gonna be upset too
decisively
when it happens.
because if it's a close game, they're going to give it to Tom Brady.
Right. And this is
that means we're gonna win. Y'all gotta come in here.
Yeah, I mean, but
y'all gotta come in here dressed
it might not be a close game.
like Little Richard.
this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna do. Tone the Stone and Sax Man have to bring me or J Mac the best beer. Our calling.
Well, see, I don't drink beer.
That's okay.
Jay don't drink.
That's okay. They got non-alcohol beer.
So if
No, no,
Philadelphia win, you want some beer. That's what you want.
Right.
What we want, Sax?
Y'all tell us what y'all want.
I want a dark skinned chick with size.
Oh Lord, that's why you in trouble right there. Me too on him right there, cause we gonna fire Sax. Hey, Sax Man get fired if somebody call us up talk about me too.
Yeah, he gonna get us in trouble. Yeah, we just had to talk about this. Yeah.
Well, can I say something going back to the house with the real estate?
Yeah, go ahead.
ahead,
Everybody,
yeah, we let
let
them go
give
ahead.
Robert, our guest, the last word.
Remember, if you own your home, you're 10 times more richer than a renter. Okay, when you looking at homes, look at the roof, the foundation, look at the furnace, the hot water tank, look at the electrical box. You want circuit breakers, not fuses. I'm not an inspector, but these are things you want, and you want to get your own general inspector. Yes, hire your own general inspector if it makes you feel good. The other thing is you also want to make sure you got newer windows. You know, that's not a deal breaker.
Installation, okay.
Yeah, but newer windows. How about the shifting foundation? If you feel, I always tell my clients, use your God-given senses. Your sense of smell, feel, and sight. If that house look like it's crooked, if that house feels, now a house can settle because Mother Earth wants to fight against it. But if it feels like it's sinking or something, well, that's not a good sign. I'm not an inspector, but that's not a good sign.
Well, you know what? Right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's Robert Overton, one of our young millennials who is out here. He's a millennial. Who's going to really assist everything down. Hey, we're going to put all his information up on our social media page. He already told you how to get him. We're going to put his information out there. But Tone the Stone.
Fan base is big, I can't lose. Jigga bow down, I'm the next to rule. But I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under. Cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake. Cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today. But yo, that's the way the story goes. So I was told, following the ramble down the yellow brick road. Please believe at the end, ain't no pie to go. Just some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
Hey, I'm your host, Sean L. on Stop the Madness. Keep it 100, Free Fall Thursday. We had a guest in here, Robert Overton, young millennial, who is a realtor. I want y'all to show this brother some love. and we're going to get him back on the show with us. Robert, what you got to say to our good people before we get ready to go?
Home ownership is something, it's the American dream.
Amen.
In the studio with us one more time is J Mac. Jay, what's up?
Come
From the
check
shop.
me out at East 200, Hot Hands Barbershop, 548 in Monterey. Check me out, get you a nice full service.
Tone the Stone, the Diamond Boy, Melidio in the house. Hey, Tone, that beer's going to taste good, but what you going to tell me about it?
I'm going to bring some high life, but listen, it's official now, everybody. They keep calling me a millennial, so I'm 21 years old again. Don't ask me my age from this day forward. I'm 21 again.
Well, you got to be our
officially
millennial.
a millennial since that's what they keep calling me on this show.
Hey, and then it's Sex Man. Sex Man is in the house.
Well, I
Took
don't
the
understand
mic
this. Why are you?
again.
I mean, hell, to be 21 all over again, it's a beautiful thing. I was about to say, what you complaining about?
Hey, Sex Man. Sex Man, what you gonna tell everybody before we get ready to run?
Thank you for tuning in once again to the STMK Radio 100. Stop the Matters, keep it 100. I'm glad you're enjoying us, and keep tuning in.
Hey, I'm your host, Sean L. Hey, we got 3-part series going on right here at Capital B Investment. We're going to keep Jay Mack in the house from the shop. I'm going to stay on him. He's going to have to give me some answers why those mega churches can't make our neighborhood mega. Everybody, I want you to understand that we're going to rebuild this community, and we're going to hold our people accountable, and we're going to hold our elected officials accountable. So all the new guys that's running for office, we're going to get them in here. Kerry Howard's running for judge. Barry Sharp is running also. We want everybody to come in and join us, and let's get this change that we all looking for. Until next week.
You've been listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 on STMK Radio 100.